Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As we've been doing for some time now, I'm going to introduce you to the United States Army, and we're going to go to the United States Army Band with the pledge, with the national anthem. Would everybody please rise? Excuse me. That was the United States Army Barbershop Quartet, or not quartet, but the United States Army Band playing our United States National Anthem. I want to thank them for that. I want to thank all of our military members, wherever they might be around the globe. God bless you all. May you all return home to your families in safety after your tours of duty end. God bless you all, brothers and sisters in our military and our allied military as well. Thank you. May you all return home to your families in safety very soon. Folks, we have some problems we want to talk about. I have been addressing these problems for quite some time. We're going to get to earthquakes, yes, but I need you all to stand by for what we're talking about now. I'm going to talk about our United States banking system, and this slide right here is poking fun at what is actually going on. I'm not particularly fond of poking fun at it, but folks, we are in a big hurt. We are in a huge mess, honestly. I have given you a link tonight to a Fox News clip that Maria Bartiromo did yesterday that basically says that Biden and the United States government, meaning the United States taxpayers, bailed out the Silicon Valley Bank, just like we said he did. But it goes much, much deeper. Okay? This is what I wanted to talk about. It goes so very much deeper, it's not funny. If you don't realize what just happened just during the past week or so, we are in a world of hurt. The United States of America just paid the Chinese government. The Biden legal team made an admission of corruption in Chinese payouts. They bailed out the Silicon Valley Bank in California. In doing so, Biden himself promised that all of the investors would be paid in full. We told you on Friday what that amounted to. I showed you all kinds of graphics explaining what exactly happened to the Silicon Valley Bank and the other banks and what is going on. The Silicon Valley National Bank is owned in part by the Russians and the Chinese. The HSCB. The HSCB. I explained to you that the HSCB was a British corporation that was funded by the Chinese and the Russian country. Okay? That's what happened. The United States taxpayers are going to pay for these bailouts, all of the bailouts. Okay? Biden said it would be paid out in fees. What is that? It is fees that our banks charge us to keep our money in those banking facilities. All of us are going to pay higher fees. All of us are going to pay for higher food costs, commodity costs at all levels. Okay? We're all going to pay for it. Every last one of it. But it doesn't stop there. Okay? Biden has sold this country down the river. I told you on Friday, maybe it was Saturday, that Biden had nationalized all of the banks. In doing so, he ushered in the digital dollar. He ushered in the digital dollar. Now, while some people may think, oh, that's great. That's great. Initially, in giving us a digital dollar, we might actually be making a slight bit more. The government giving us a slight bit more money, like $1.25 for every dollar that we have. However, that's not going to go very far. It's not. Then to get down to brass tacks, as I said on Saturday, what is going to happen? As we try to spend our money that we get, either from an employer or from the government in terms of Social Security or Social Security disability, any of that money, any of the retirement money that people have, they're going to get paid that money. But because it's going to be in digital dollars, the government is going to be able to control what we spend our money on. Whether it's gasoline for our cars, whether it's food to eat, whether it's for other commodities, for example, to buy a picture for our home, or to pay for pictures of our children, or whatever it might be. The government is going to have a say, yay or nay. If you can't buy that roast beef that you wanted to buy, guess what? You're not going to have it. They're going to prevent you from buying it at the point of sale. As you go up to a cashier or one of those individualized pay points at the stores, guess what? It's going to deny you from buying those items. That is what's going on. Now, I gave you a link, left you a link to this from Maria Bartiromo's interview on Sunday. I need you to take a close look at it. Okay? Then, on the same token, Glenn Beck also did a program. And his program, folks, is very informative. I need you to go look at Glenn Beck's program as well. That he talks about the digital dollar. He talks about the Biden administration bailing out the banks. All of them. All of them. Then on top of that, the Chinese President Xi Jinping went to Russia for 3 days to conference with Vladimir Putin. Guess what? They're in this together. We've known that for quite some time. But now, since Xi Jinping went to Russia, we know for a fact what they're doing. Xi Jinping, we're told that he is there to try to negotiate an end to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. He's now allegedly trying to play peacemaker of sorts. Okay? I just don't think that's all. Russia has already told us that they are going to clamp down harder. They're willing to wait out Ukraine till Ukraine, the country of Ukraine, its citizens and its military completely dry out and get tired of sitting there. And then Russia hopes Putin will end up going into Ukraine finally. And it'll be the end of it. But no, I don't think it's going to be the end of it either. Poland is involved, NATO is involved, the United States and Britain are involved. Putin has already said that he is not going to allow that either. Okay? This country, the United States, is in a bad shape. Okay? It's in a very bad shape. That and all of the people coming across the southern border of the United States, guess what? We have video, we have pictures of large groups of Chinese people coming into the United States from the southern border. There's a reason for it. Also, who controls the Long Beach Harbor in Los Angeles? The Chinese control that harbor. What exactly is in all the shipping containers coming from China into the United States Long Beach port? Inquiring minds want to know. I can only imagine what is going on. Then, after all that is said and done, we also have other problems, okay? With everything that's been going on during the past few weeks, we have other problems. Can anybody guess what those problems are? Everybody needs to get prepared. We've been talking about this for 4 years now, being prepared for whatever happens. Okay? First, the banks go belly up. I'm going to warn everybody, if you are in a small town bank, you need to be taking money out of your bank and putting it in your stash. In your stash, your emergency survival kit, okay? In your emergency preparedness kit. You need to have a stash of money for yourself when the banks go down. The grid goes down. There's no more ATM available. Or the government won't let you have your money, and they shut off your access to money at the ATM. You need to have your stash of money now. Okay? So several people have been asking me about small banks. On Saturday, when I did my Saturday broadcast about this, several people asked about small banks. I've gotten over a dozen other comments about, what about small banks, Ron? What do you think is going to happen? They're going to take them all down. There's probably only going to be 4 banks left. 4 banks left. I urge those of you that can, get a credit union. Get your money into a credit union. Now, while some people also don't like credit unions, because if you try to invest money in credit unions or banks, you're not going to get that much return on your money. But if you have any money in your savings or checking, I will tell you, you need money at home, and yes, you may need money to put in your credit union to pay your bills. But I would advise everybody, keep only that money in there that you can absolutely afford to lose. Absolutely afford to lose. Okay? I used to tell people when they go to Vegas, only take that money which you can afford to lose. Okay? Don't take everything to Vegas. Don't take everything to try to gamble with, because at the end of the road, once you gamble with it, it's gone. Folks, they are trying to take over our country. The people at the head of this, and I've talked about this before, the people at the head of this are these people. These people right here. And others. Okay? This one right here. Okay? That one right there. Hold on a second. I've got one more here. This one right here. This one right here. Please do not put this in the chat. None of these organizations should show up in our chat. I'm not naming them because if they come out, then they may shut me down. Okay? I want to keep this channel for as long as we possibly can so that we can talk about emergency operations, what we need to talk about to make sure that everyone is taken care of. I've already told you all to please be careful. Make sure that anyone that you talk to is of a like mind. Of a like mind. Okay? If you talk to someone who may be affiliated with the government without you knowing about it, it might put you in a world of hurt. That's the last thing that we want you to do, is to be in a world of hurt. To be in a world where you can't do anything for yourselves because they shut you down. Me? Go ahead, make my day. Read my lips. Go ahead, make my day. I don't much care what they do. I've been planning ahead for a very long time. I didn't realize Scooter was here. Yes, Scooter Pie, I want to give you your wrench back. I hope you don't mind that. Scooter Pie's now got her wrench, and I appreciate that. Okay? I care about you. I care about all of you. I want to make sure that you are being taken care of, that you are taking care of your business that you need to do. Ken Zoe says, definitely an invasion in my town. Folks, it's an invasion in everybody's town. Okay? If you don't see a lot of Chinese people coming into your town, they just haven't made it there yet. We have a lot of Chinese and Vietnamese and Hispanic people here where I live. There are a lot of different people here. But folks, I'm telling you, when you see buses drop people off in your town, that means you need to be ready. Because it's over. The game's over. Scooter Pie is telling me thanks, Ron. She appreciates that. Scooter Pie, you're a wonderful woman. You're a wonderful friend and family member. And I value your friendship and everybody else's here very dearly. That's the truth. Folks, all I am telling you, You need to be prepared for whatever happens at this point. Even on this new channel, I have spent a lot of time here with you talking about emergency preparedness issues. I spent a great deal of time talking about emergency preparedness issues. I want to make sure that you guys are ready for whatever happens. I see my buddy Rob Vogel here. Rob Vogel is from Arizona. I've got to know Rob very, very well. He's a very dear friend of mine. He and I have been talking about making him a mod, and I'm going to make him a mod right now. Okay? I appreciate that. Rob, thank you for volunteering your efforts and volunteering your expertise and your friendship to everybody here. Rob here is now a mod on our channel as well. He's good. He knows what he's doing. He's very educated in what is going on. We've had a lot of time talking. We have spent hours talking about what is going on. And he and I are in agreement about everything. Literally. He also is already shown friendship to many of you. Most of you. Folks, if you haven't already gotten to know Rob, please do so. If you haven't gotten to know Scooter Pie and the rest of our mods here, please do so. Okay? These guys are wonderful people. Carolyn Martin is here from sunny Denver, Colorado. It was sunny here earlier, but now it's dark. The sun's gone down here. It's 8 o'clock here. It was sunny here just an hour ago. The sun went down about 7:30. But folks, I am asking you to get prepared. Please, 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 do what you have to do to be prepared. Okay? Darlene Ram says it's horribly amazing how many people are clueless and won't even do their own research. And you're right. That's why we are here. Okay? Scooter Pie says, as soon as I get a wrench, it got booted out, right? No, Scooter, I hope you didn't get booted out. Scooter is a dear friend of ours. I don't think anybody would boot her out. Not a chance. If anybody did it, it was probably the YT people, unfortunately. We care about you guys, okay? That's why we've been doing this program for so many years, to make sure you all have information you need to be prepared. The banking system is blown out now. More and more banks are going to file Chapter 11. The SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, filed for bankruptcy. You're going to see more and more banks doing that. They don't have the money and they don't have the backing to stay in business. More and more banks are going to disappear. Please take care of yourselves. I'm asking everybody right now, spread this message everywhere. The Biden administration has nationalized all the banks. It's now soon going to go to a digital dollar, like I said, and I've already told you what's going to happen with that digital dollar. They're going to completely control us. Okay? You thought the lockdowns during the past 2 years were bad? It's going to happen again. Okay? It's going to happen again. I've already found out months ago that they've been talking about doing it again with a different, what shall I say, a different method. Okay? Saying that something else is going to happen. And indeed it is. Friends, please get prepared. Darlene Ram says, I'm prepared, but I will be alone when heck breaks loose. No one I don't know doesn't believe one thing I say. Darlene, a lot of us are in the same boat. There are people that don't believe a darn thing we say. They're just going to have to find out on their own, aren't they? If we tell them, we pass the message to them. They don't have to believe it until all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. Then they're going to find out on their own, and they're going to wish that they had acknowledged you and listened to you. Ken Zoe says, I feel it, silence before the storm. I agree. There are those of us that have been putting our necks out on the line because I believe that this is what we need to do. I've been talking about it for a very long time. Okay? I just don't blow my own horn. That's not who I am. But I want to make sure that everybody is ready when all heck breaks loose. Make sure you have plenty of food on the shelves in your home, in your pantries, in your cupboards. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have everything to survive. Things are going to really start cooking now. Okay? Some of us may not see it for a few days or a few weeks. But when it happens, we're going to feel like a great big huge steamroller rolled over the top of us. Because that's exactly how they want to do this. Okay? Rebecca Griffiths says, I'm not ready. I have gastroparesis. I don't know how to eat. Rebecca, you do know how to eat. I've talked to Rebecca many times in the past. She does know how to eat. You need to plan your meals, what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink. Everybody. You need to plan for what is happening. I'm trying to help you by giving you information. Folks, take care of yourselves. Nobody's going to do it for you. I'm trying to give you information because I believe in you. I believe in everyone that is here. I've been trying to get out this information, like I said, for 4 years. Now, it's coming down to brass tacks. Okay? Pretty soon, I'm not going to be able to talk like this. Pretty soon, they're going to take me down and bounce me around. Again. I want to stay here and help you for as long as I possibly can. Okay? That's why I've done what I've done over the years. Okay? I'm not the big bagged wolf here. I'm not huffing and puffing. I'm not blowing anybody's house down. But I am trying to put the information out for you so that you know what to do. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it at all. Okay? There are people that have been here on YouTube for quite some time. They leave, they come back. Many of them think they're big and tough. They can't prove it by me. Okay? Do what you have to do. Make sure you are subscribed to this program. They've been deleting a lot of subscriptions again. Make sure you're subscribed to this program, and when you do subscribe, make sure you click on that little bell icon. You'll find a little bell icon in a circle. Click on that. A drop-down menu of 3 items will come up. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. Usually we've tried coming on the air between 6 and 7. We came on late tonight because of my health. I was having to take care of some issues that I have been going through. But I'm here. Okay? Make sure you're planting seeds. Make sure you're planting your own victory garden. We call it Victory Garden because when it starts growing and you're making fruit, vegetables for yourselves, it's a victory. I want everyone to have a victory garden. Okay? It's very important. You need to be able to feed yourselves. Make sure you plant your seeds in good soil. Yesterday we talked about the sower in the New Testament. Planting your seeds in good soil. We told you a lot about bad soil, contaminated water. Please make sure that when you plant your seeds for vegetables and fruits, make sure it's planted in good soil so you're not poisoning yourself like the administration wants you to. Okay? They don't want us to survive. It's plain and simple. I'm still following that story in East Palestine. Okay? I told you my latest investigation from the other day. I stand by that. I stand by it. Please make sure that you are taken care of with your family. Your family is most important. Okay? Hurricane Heather says, plan like your life depends on it, because it does. If you plan like your life depends on it, it will depend on it. I promise you. I don't talk to myself just to be hear myself talking to myself. That's not me. It's never going to be me. But folks, I am trying to give you information to save your lives. And I keep saying it, and I say it and say it again. Please get prepared. Invite everyone you know to listen to this channel. Okay? I'm talking about earthquakes, I'm talking about disasters, emergencies of all kinds, and how to survive them. I don't think there's one channel here on this YT or anywhere else that's doing what I do. I'm doing it to the best of my ability. I'm trying to help everybody. So please come to this channel, subscribe to this channel, and make this channel grow like wildfire. Okay? Right now we have over 522 subscribers. I would love to hit 1,000 so we can have a super chat here. There's been a lot of people asking for super chat. Okay, I believe as soon as we pass 1,000 subscribers, then we can have super chat here. Okay, until then, you can still support this channel through several ways. We have 2 PayPal locations. We have a Venmo location that you can donate to. Several people have. And in fact, my dear friend D. Howard sent us some support through Venmo the other day. Kim Hopkins sent us support through PayPal. We greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate that. And God bless you for that. Several people in the past have sent us support through our post office box. P.O. Box 422, Valdese, North Carolina, zip code 28690. I just paid for my post office box, folks. Okay? Please support that. It costs money to have that post office box here for you. I feel like it's probably the best way to make sure you have contact with me is through the post office. You already have my phone number plastered on every program that I do. For those of you that are very familiar with what we do, Scooter Pie and all of our mods have put together messenger threads, messenger channels that we have on Messenger to get out information. to come together as groups and friends and loved ones, to gain information, to share information. They did that so people that were here would have a voice in all that we do, and that we can share information. A lot of things which you have given me, I put out on the air. I never put out anything on the air unless I vet it and find out it to be true. I'm not like other channels that find information and go blow it up. I don't hype anything. But what I do know is this is the last days. Whether we last 5 years, 10 years, 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is, we don't know when the end is. It could happen any time. It could happen tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen that fast. I believe we just barely started the tribulation, if that. But things are going to get a whole lot worse. That you can take to the bank. And I'm not just talking about the banks. Okay? It's the truth. So, friends and neighbors, we love you. We care for you. We're asking you to take care of your loved ones, and we're trying to help you. One of the other ways we take care of each other is I established a website a long time ago. This website is available in our program description tonight, just below our program. You can go down into that program description and click on our website. That website will take you to the website. You can go into the files sharing area. There you're going to find all sorts of emergency preparedness stuff to have. I put it in the form of PDFs so no one could mess with it. But I have put in a lot of hours. Blood, sweat, and tears has gone into all of that information, so you have that. Okay? I have labored days, hours, months, and years putting that information together so you can have it. Please, folks, use it. Use it all. Carol Kitchen says there's a lot of canning videos and groups if someone want to learn how. I can't devote our program here to just individual things on how to can or how to sharpen a knife or whatever. I'm trying to give you overall information on how you can be prepared. Yes, you can go out and get this information, these canning information, or exactly what foods you can get. You can get that information from anywhere. Okay, literally. I've given you leads on survival food. Okay? 4 Patriot survival food. Again, if you're interested in it, when you call them, tell them that I sent you. The telephone number for 4 Patriots Food is 800-607-0943. Again, 800-607-0943. Tell them I told you to call. Okay? I was hoping to get my 25,000 supporters here and start making a little bit of money from people like 4 Patriots sponsoring my program. But they don't do it for small subscriber channels. So what that hacker did is take my channel away from me where I could have made a little bit of money. A little bit. I'm going to gain it back over a long time period. But I'm not here just to make money. I'm here to get out emergency information. Okay? To get information out to you. If you hear of anyone giving away buckets to put food in, or canning jars, or anything like that, share it here on our chat room, that you have a lead on this and that, so people can contact you to get things that you may need, that they might have knowledge of. That's what this program is all about. Okay? So there's that. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me so far about anything that we've talked about tonight? Okay? I've got more information to give you. Okay? The Wix site link is broken. Okay, after this program I'll go in there and try to fix it. I'm sorry to see it's broken. That's sad. Because I've spent a long time making sure all that is available. Let me go in it right now and see what's up with that. That's insane. That's literally insane. Okay. Let me go here and see what's going on. Yep, it's gone. Yep. It's down. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. It was available yesterday. I will get there and I'll figure out what happened, guys. That is strange. That is so weird. Okay, I will get into this after this show. I'm sorry that you guys couldn't get in there. Darn it. Yes, Carolyn Martin says maybe a hacker got it. Yeah, it's possible. I will get that back up as soon as I possibly can, guys. I promise. I'll get into it. Anyway, I want to talk about some earthquakes that happened this weekend and earthquakes that happened today. There was a 5.4 magnitude earthquake just on the southeast side of the Alaska Peninsula yesterday. Okay, it was a 5.4 magnitude earthquake. There were aftershocks from it. USGS shows 1. I'm sorry to say USGS is wrong. There are about 10 aftershocks. There's at least a dozen since then. Okay, it was down here just east across of that water inlet. Okay, east of the Alaska Peninsula here. Okay, we knew that was happening. We knew it was going to happen. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind that it was going to happen. Why? Why do I say that? Because we have seen so many seismic events going on literally around the world. We knew at some point in time that seismic energy was going up and through the Aleutian Islands and was going to reach Alaska. Well, guess what? It finally did. Reached right up into here. Okay? Kodiak Island is down here. It reached right over here yesterday. A 5.4 magnitude earthquake. It was downgraded to a 5.3 and down to a 5.2. But it was exactly a 5.4. I did my research. Okay? It was actually a 5.4 earthquake. But there's still seismic energy built up in this area. There's a lot of seismic energy still built up. It's not over. It really is not over. Okay? I believe Alaska could get hit with anything from a 6.0 to a 7.5 magnitude earthquake. We've seen it happen before, and it could happen again. We don't see that many swarms of earthquakes in this area, but we have seen that in the past, the recent past. It's going to happen again. Okay? We've seen a lot of seismic energy over here in the Anchorage area. all over that area. We see one earthquake over here near Cantwell, Alaska. Okay, USGS has this 1.0 tremor up here on the northern end of the Denali National Park. We have another earthquake over here near McKinley today. It's a 2.1 magnitude earthquake. Regardless of what USGS says, they have it near Petersville, Alaska. It's not. It's not. It's over in Denali National Park. They keep misinterpreting everything because they don't want people to know what's going on. We've also had earthquakes over here near Old Ililama Volcano. Old Ililama Volcano. We still do. Okay? This was the newest one, a 1.0 magnitude earthquake. Magnitude, actually not earthquake, a 1.0 tremor. We're seeing tremors all over here. Not as many as we had here last weekend, but we still seen them. Okay? We're still seeing a lot of traffic over here in the Aleutian Islands. It's going to continue here. Okay? Right here. Okay? We're not seeing as many seismic events as we saw just last Friday. We had like 30 seismic events in the same area. This is a volcanic area here. Okay? This here is a 2.1 magnitude earthquake, a minor earthquake. We had 3.40 here on Friday. It's continuing. This whole area is shaking because this is a volcano. Now, I got notified earlier today that Seismic here in the Aleutian Islands is rocking again. Okay, Seismic has erupted in the past, and it's likely to erupt again. They raised its eruptive status to strong watch, a strong watch. Before, it was an advisory, a yellow advisory. They've raised it to an orange watch for Seismic. There are several calderas there, several cones there, and they're expecting Seismic to erupt. So you can find that out too. You can go over to the Alaska Volcano Observatory and find out all the information that you need. I'm keeping a close eye on all the volcanoes over here in the Aleutian Islands and Alaska, and I will get notified when something else happens. Now over here, okay, this is north of Nikolsky, Alaska. Okay, this is over in the Bering Sea here. Okay, this is a 4.9 5.0 earthquake. A 4.9 5.0 earthquake. They only say it's 4.9 because they don't want to admit that it's a larger earthquake. Heaven forbid this agency tells the truth ever. Okay? They just never do. 4.9 5.0 earthquake. Like I said, all of the seismic energies hold up here in the south central Alaska area. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, now I want to go over here. I want to talk about a few other earthquakes that have happened because you deserve to know. Okay, over here on the west side of the Pacific, on the just off this excuse me, just over here off the southern shore of Hokkaido, right here. There's a 4.4 magnitude earthquake here, right next to the coast. A 4.4 magnitude earthquake here, 85 kilometers deep. Now, someone said earlier today about another earthquake that hit. It was only 40 kilometers deep, and they said it was a deep earthquake. No, it's not. Anything less than 400 is not a deep earthquake. 400 kilometers is a semi-deep quake. 500, 600, those are deep earthquakes. Okay? This is only an 85 kilometer deep quake. it's a fairly shallow quake. The 4.0 they were, or 3.0 that they were talking about in California, Central California, that is a fairly shallow quake. I'll be getting to that in a minute. Over here off the east coast of Japan, this is a 4.6, a mid-range 4.6 moderate earthquake here off the coast of Osaka, Japan. Okay, this is also only 6 miles deep, 10 kilometers. Closer to Honshu over here, another 4.6 here. Okay, this one was 32 kilometers deep. Let's follow this earthquake fault down here. This is the Izu Islands. The Izu Islands again. This is another 4.9, 5.0, folks. The 0.9 society is alive and well. Okay, Izu Islands here. Most of these are unoccupied, guys. So when the earthquakes do hit, it's nowhere near a inhabited island. Okay. Then here, and this is not a good representation of all the earthquakes that hit in this region. This is Litavan, Philippines. Litavan, Philippines. Okay. This is Mindanao Island, Philippines. The western shore of Mindanao Island, Philippines. Okay, this earthquake is a 4.5. A 4.5 off the off the western shore of Mindanao Island, Philippines. A moderate earthquake here. Now, this is a deep earthquake, 592 kilometers deep. This is a deep earthquake. This 4.5 could propagate into a 5.3 magnitude earthquake. It could propagate into a 5.3 large earthquake within the next 72 hours to even 10 days. Okay, it could go east, west, north, or south here. Okay, if it went north, let me back out here to show you. It could go further up here into the Philippines, which is what it probably will do. Okay, we've seen that happen before. It could continue south over here into Indonesia. Okay, we've seen that happen too. But there are already earthquakes hitting this entire region here. You don't see them here because USGS doesn't tell us. Rarely do they ever tell us. This area of Indonesia is a huge subduction zone. 7 different plates, one subducting under the other here, including over here in Australia. The Indo-Australian plate is one of the biggest ones. But each of these plates are subducting, one under the other. That's why earthquakes hit. I had somebody a while back that lives here in Indonesia contact me. He said, Ron, why are we getting earthquakes here? Because you're living in a subduction zone. That's why. They're going to continue to hit. It's a matter of time before we have another large to a major quake here. We saw a major quake just a couple weeks ago over here near Mindanao Islands, Philippines. It's going to happen again. Over here in Papua New Guinea, this past weekend we had some earthquakes here. We have another 4.4 here, a moderate earthquake. This is semi-deep, 204 kilometers deep. Not as deep as the 500 or 600, but this is still relatively deep. Okay, a 4.4, this could propagate probably a 4.8, 4.9 earthquake. Okay, it could. We've already seen earthquakes hitting here in Papua New Guinea and over here in Indonesia. It's going to continue. Okay, going further east here. This is Wallis Futuna in the southern Pacific Islands. This is just north of Fiji and east or west of Tonga. Okay, this is a 4.3 here. It's also 384 kilometers deep. This could spawn a 4.8 earthquake. Okay, it could. we go further south here. Now we're talking over here, the North Island of New Zealand. The North Island of New Zealand. Okay, this is a moderate 4.1. Okay, we do have some felt reports, but this is just a moderate 4.1, a low-grade moderate earthquake. Okay, this is 8.2 kilometers deep. Now again, they're not showing us everything here. Okay, this is still considered part of the Bay of Plenty. It's onshore, yes, but it's not a big quake. Okay, what do moderate earthquakes do? They rattle people's nerves. They shake their homes. They sometimes can cause a picture to fall off a wall, or rattle knickknacks to fall onto the floor, or books. But that's pretty much the most damage a moderate earthquake can do. Smaller earthquakes can rattle our nerves. That's just about it. Okay? But now, when you get into a moderate earthquake, you can expect some kind of damage. Minor damage. You get into a 5.0 to a 5.9 earthquake, a large earthquake, you can consider major damage. Anything over 5.0 to 10.0 is called major damage. Okay? Large earthquakes can kill people. They can injure people, and they do it all day long. Okay? But there are a lot more earthquakes, like I said, here in Indonesia. But there are not Indonesia, in New Zealand. But again, they're never going to tell us. They never will tell us. Down here in the South Atlantic Ocean, this is the South Sandwich Islands here. Okay, this is a 5.1 earthquake here, 133 kilometers deep, still fairly shallow. Okay, this one's going to go up into the Atlantic Ocean here, the mid-Atlantic. It's going to still rain heavy with large earthquakes all throughout the central Atlantic Ocean. And it's going to end up going up here towards, if not through, Iceland. USGS is not showing any earthquakes here at Iceland. That's a joke. There are about 12 earthquakes here in Iceland. On the north side of Iceland, over here around this glacier right here, there's a volcano beneath it. Got earthquakes here. We've also got earthquakes over here to the southern part of Iceland. Some of them are over here along this fault line. The North Atlantic Fault cuts through Iceland. Cuts through Iceland. That is one of the reasons they get earthquakes here. That and their volcanoes. Volcanoes. Just really briefly here. I'm going over to Romania. This is another place where we had a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. It's been downgraded to a 4.9. Okay, a 4.9. This happened at 10:20 this morning. 10:20 this morning. Look where this earthquake is at in Romania. Okay, it's right here along the Continental Divide here. This is another earthquake fault in this area. Okay, we've been talking about this for a long time. What happened over here in Turkey? What happened in Turkey here? This place rocked and rolled over here in Turkey. A lot of earthquakes, huh? Oh yeah. Well, guess what? I'm telling you folks, this place is shaking. The seismic energy leaving Turkey even now is going over here along the craton edge, the plate edge. That's what seismic energy does. It follows the edge of the plate, the earthquake faults. Okay? Turkey is still getting hammered right here. Okay? This is a 4.1 here. But USGS is not telling us the truth here. They show one earthquake. There's about 75 earthquakes here in Turkey that they're not telling us about. They say there's 264 earthquakes worldwide. Really? How about being honest with us, USGS? We just had a very strong earthquake in Ecuador. There's about 100 earthquakes up in Ecuador today. There's about 24 earthquakes all over South America besides that. They don't bother telling us the truth about anything. Earthquakes over here in Italy, earthquakes in Greece, earthquakes in Turkey, earthquakes over here in Iran and Iraq. All over. Over here in southern Iran, we have another 4.1 moderate quake here. This is nothing to get excited about. This happens in Iran all the time. We've had 5s here before. 5s. Over here in Tajikistan and Afghanistan, they don't show us anything, but this is also the edge of the plate here. This is northwest of India here. Okay? This is over in the north or the western part of the Himalayas. That's why one reason why they get hit. It's the edge of the plate here. They're not showing anything in India. They're not showing anything here in Myanmar. Almost nothing over here in Indonesia. Really? Really? They're not showing much of anything here. It's sad. It's sad. They're showing a couple of earthquakes over here. This one is in northern Chile, Tarapaca, Chile. It's a 4.1 as well. This one here off the coast is a 4.7 moderate earthquake off the coast of Arequipa, Peru. Or Arequipa, Peru. Okay? But again, they're not showing anything over here where we had a very strong earthquake yesterday up in Ecuador. Up here in Ecuador. They ought to be showing it, but they're not. Heaven forbid they can be honest with us. Okay? Now I'm going to have to do something here because USGS just shot this site down here on my broadcast software, so I'm having to take it down and reboot it here, which I'm doing here. See, they can't keep me down forever. They really can't. Okay, they may take me down for a few minutes. I come back rolling. But like I said over here in Ecuador, they're not even showing anything. Okay? When you have a very strong earthquake like we had here in Ecuador, you're going to see earthquakes. It's inevitable that you're going to see earthquakes. You're going to see earthquakes for a very long time. Every time we've seen a 6.5, guys, we have aftershocks for weeks, months, and even years. It happens. It happens. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Colombia. There are. They're not showing any earthquakes over here in Central America. They are. They're showing one earthquake over here off the coast of Nicaragua today. That's a travesty. There are a bunch of them over here. They're showing a 4.4, 41 kilometers deep. Really? That's the only one? You know, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. There are plenty of earthquakes here in Central America. There's plenty of earthquakes here in southern Mexico. All over this area, guys. They're not being honest with us. Now, I want to go over here into the Cascadia subduction area. We're going to be talking about Cascadia earthquakes tonight. I'm going to show you some seismograms that you need to see. This earthquake here in the Cascadia, southern Cascadia subduction zone region, this is a 2.8 minor earthquake between the Gorda Ridge and the Cascadia subduction zone to the east. That long, nearly straight earthquake zone running up the coast of California, Oregon, and Washington, going all the way up to the southern boundary of Queen Charlotte Island. Guess what, folks? Guess what? It's the Cascadia subduction zone. Over here to the left of this earthquake, to the west of this earthquake, that's the Gorda Ridge. This earthquake was off the Oregon coast today. It was 12.7 kilometers deep. Not a big deal. Just about 6.5 miles deep. This is a 2.8 minor earthquake off the coast of Pistol River, Oregon. Pistol River, Oregon. Okay? Now, I want to go up here just briefly before I show you seismograms. Okay? I'm going up here to the north here. This is a 1.0 near Alger, Washington, or Alger, Washington. Up here to the north, guess what? I get the biggest kick out of this. Okay? USGS calls this an explosion in Canada. British Columbia, Canada. A 1.4 magnitude explosion here. Really? Really? An explosion here? No, guys, there is no explosion here. Part of this area here is a forested area. There are some quarries to the north up here. Way to the north. Way to the north. There are some quarries here. Granted. But this earthquake is a great distance from those quarries. This is a tremor here. A 1.6 tremor here. This is almost a quarter of a mile deep. Okay? This is not a quarry. They want to believe everything is going to be an explosion. It's not. Okay? I don't get it. I will never get it. I'll never understand this agency. Okay? This is a 1.2 tremor here near Keyport, Washington. Keyport, Washington. Just south of there, this is Entiat, Washington. NTI, Washington. 1.8. This is over also in near Burien, Washington. This is a 1.4. See where it's at, guys? This is a moving plate area. This is part of the plate here. That's a 1.4. This is a 0.5, Lakeland, Washington. This is a 0.9, Pacific, Washington. Okay? Pacific, Washington. We go further south. This is a 1.6. We've had earthquakes here before. Just this past week we had 2 tremors here. That's what this is. It's a 1.6 tremor at Calpasson, Washington. Then we get over to Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier. What do we have here? Just southwest of Mount Rainier, folks, we have another 1.6. This time, they're saying this is also 2 kilometers south of Calpasson. Really? Why not be honest with everybody and say it's in the foothills of Mount Rainier? The foothills of Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is recharging, folks. Mount Rainier is recharging. It's going to erupt very shortly. Okay? That's why these tremors are happening. This is a 0.7, also on the northeast side of Mount Rainier, in the foothills of Mount Rainier. Okay? That's a volcano. It's a volcano, my gosh. We go further down here. This is another microquake. It's just south of another volcano. What is it? This happens to be Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens. This is 0.6. There's more here than that. Okay? This happens to be a 0.9 here. Okay? Just south of Mount St. Helens. Interesting, huh? Let's continue south here. Okay? This is also right next to another volcano. This, folks, is just the south side of Mount Hood. This is a 0.3 microquake over near Timberline, Government Camp, Mount Hood. We're going to be talking about these earthquakes in just a minute. I wanted to show you what's really going on, because the agencies certainly won't. They lie about it. Okay? Let's go look at these earthquakes now. Okay? I hope everybody's going to have a good time, because we are. I started looking further north. This is Mount Baker. This is Mount Baker, just south of the Canadian border in Washington State. Mount Baker is rumbling. Okay? Again, the USGS, and this is a Pacific Northwest Seismic Network seismogram, but the agencies are not even being honest with us. USGS doesn't have a seismogram for this, so we have to go over to the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Usually in the past, and I'm talking not recent past, but even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, these seismograms were showing a ton more activity. If we went to the main seismogram here at Mount Baker, it was showing a lot of tremors, some earthquakes, and a ton of steam. It's not showing us that anymore. In fact, today's seismogram doesn't show squat. It shows false information. This one here is a it's a different seismogram here. This is looking for different information. Yes, we see some earthquakes and tremors here. We do. But this, you're seeing these wavy lines. What is this? This is very low frequency waves here caused by magma beneath the surface inside the volcano. That's what you're seeing here. When you see these wavy lines and they're as thick as they are here in various places, that means there was a lot of activity at this volcano. And that's what you're seeing here. In the center of this seismogram here, you're seeing a ton of activity here. A ton of activity here. Let me blow it up a little bit so you can see it even better. Okay? What are we seeing here? These are tremors, and there are some 2.0 earthquakes here as well. Okay? This is just before 5 a.m. in the morning this morning. Okay? On that blue line is 4:30 a.m. The red line is after 5:15 in the morning. Okay? But you can see the tremors here hitting here. That one earthquake here that I believe is an earthquake is the longest line here on the left-hand side. I believe that to be an earthquake. The others here are just tremors. They turn this seismogram down where it's not showing everything. It's not showing everything. This is typical of this agency. Okay? It's very typical of this agency. Rarely do they show us all the truth. I'm sorry, they just don't. Okay? I didn't see anything really showing over at Glacier Peak or Mount Constitution, so I've gone here and I've made sure that we had enough information here at Mount Rainier to show you today. Okay? I'm going to go over to Camp Sherman at Mount Rainier. Camp Sherman is over on the southeast side of Mount Rainier. Okay? We can see a lot of information here. Let me pull it down and open it up for you so you can see what we're saying. Okay? Look at this up at the top. This seismogram started off at 9 p.m. last night at the very top. Then we see these thicker lines here. These thicker lines indicate magma coming into the magma chamber. Magma infill. Okay? these thicker lines going into thinner lines and the thinner lines going into thicker lines are called magma pulse signals. Magma pulse signals, P-U-L-S-E. Okay? The amount of magma coming into the magma chamber here. You can see it here. Okay? You can also see times when a lot of magma came in. The thicker the lines, the more magma came into this volcano. The vertical lines here, if you see a dot in the middle of them, those are tremors or earthquakes. If there's a vertical line without a dot in the middle of it, that is steam. Steam coming from the magma, or coming out of the magma chamber through either the top or the side of the volcano. The volcano releasing steam, and it happens all the time. We've shown you pictures of different kinds of pictures showing that Mount Rainier is actually steaming. Tons of steam pouring out of this volcano. Right here after 2:30 this morning, you see a great deal of magma coming out of this volcano here. Or coming into it anyway, not out of it, but into it. Okay? You see a lot of activity here. Now you see that blue horizontal sideways rectangle? That is a magma churn signal that comes from heavy-duty, hot, superheated magma. Superheated magma, that's what causes these magma churn signals. These magma churn signals are typically 23 to 24 lines high. This one is not. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines high. About 26% of real world. Meaning the seismologist who's tending to this seismogram turned the machine way, way down. So it's not reporting actual activity. It's only reporting some part of the activity. The shorter lines would be longer lines in reality. Okay? These thicker lines would be even thicker than they are now if the seismograph was turned up to the speed at which it normally should be. They've turned it way down. We're seeing a lot of tremors here. We're seeing some small minor earthquakes as well. Those vertical lines to the right of that sideways rectangle, that magma churn signal, that is steam coming from the volcano. Steam coming from the volcano. And you can see what is going on. I just pulled this seismogram up a lot more. You can see 2 earthquakes this afternoon. 2 earthquakes this afternoon. Here, they're showing to be at least a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. Minor earthquakes. But knowing that this seismogram is showing it turn way down, guess what? That could be 3.5, nearly 4.0 earthquake here at Mount Rainier. There's a lot here. There's a lot of information here. That's why we're showing it to you. Okay? Mount Rainier is getting very busy. That's because it's getting ready to erupt. It really is. Okay? Let me show you one more here. Good old Mount Rainier. This next one I'm going to show you is a spectrogram at Mount Rainier. This is normally coming from Emerald Ridge. Scientists, whoever it is, I don't know who it is, have turned down the seismograph at Emerald Ridge. It's not showing much of any seismic activity here. That's why I didn't show it to you. But here it's showing a spectrogram. What is this spectrogram showing us? Down at the bottom, you see a lot of heat. Light blue, almost blue-yellow fluorescent. That's heat. Heat coming from the magma of this volcano. That's heat. You see lines here drifting up to the top of this spectrogram. that is also heat coming towards the surface. You see some that are very light, reaching all the way to the surface. Magma is just beneath the surface of this volcano in several areas. Several areas, folks. Again, we know for a fact that there are several places in Mount Rainier is bulging. We could see a blowout from one of the sides of the volcano. It might happen from the summit. We see a ton of steam coming from the summit. That would indicate steam being blown through that plug in the volcano at the top. Okay? We showed you in the past what happens there. But believe you me, Mount Rainier is getting there. I showed you these seismic events here on this seismogram for a reason. There's a lot more seismic activity than USGS showed on that seismogram. A lot more seismic activity happening than they showed on the map. Again, I don't think they'll ever be honest with us. I don't think they've ever been honest with us. Okay? That's just me saying that. Let's go down to Mount St. Helens, guys. Guess what? Helens is also very active. Mount St. Helens is very, very, very active. Okay? Look at this. Okay? This is Trade Dollar Lake to the north of Mount St. Helens. Look at that. Look at all this magma here, guys. Look at all that magma. Okay? If this seismograph were turned up as much as it should be, you might not see any white on that paper at the top of this seismogram. Okay? You see a magma churn signal here. Okay? Down here on the right hand side. I'm going to blow this up so you can truly see what's going on. Okay? Again, the magma churn signals are supposed to be 23 to 24 lines high. This one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. About 26% of real world. Real world. So they've turned this thing down where we're not seeing everything. Okay? Down here at the bottom, you see these thicker lines turning thinner and then turning thicker again. What is that? Magma pulse signals. The amount of magma coming into the magma chamber at any given time. Okay? Those could be thicker as well. But up here at the top, we're talking fully thick. Not able to see anything else but the blue color. Because this volcano is getting ready to go. Just like Mount Rainier. Just like Mount Rainier. It's a matter of time. Let me show you one more here at Mount St. Helens. Okay, I want you to know what's happening. Okay, this is Mount St. Helens. This is September lobe. September lobe at Mount St. Helens, folks, is a seismograph that is showing the VLF activity that the magma is generating. Magma generates these VLF waves so we know exactly what's going on. At the top of this seismogram, let's look at the time signature here. It says 1700 hours at the top. 17. That means that this seismogram started out recording information at 5 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Look at all that VLF wave activity. That means there was a lot of magma coming into this magma chamber at this volcano, Mount St. Helens. Look at that. Hours and hours and hours yesterday evening and last night. Okay? It doesn't stop until after midnight. It slows down but doesn't stop. Okay? Then, what happens here? Okay? Down near the bottom of this seismogram. This is just before 10 a.m. It starts up again, doesn't it? And it goes for several more hours. Then this afternoon, it goes up again. I pulled this seismogram just after 2:30 this afternoon. But look at the amount of activity here. Mount St. Helens is roaring down there. There's a lot of magma activity here. Okay? They showed several small tremors and microquakes at Mount St. Helens, didn't they? Guess what? They're not being truthful. How can they be truthful when this amount of information is present? They can't. They can't possibly tell us that nothing is going on. Microquakes, 2 or 3 microquakes isn't activity at all. But if you look at this particular seismogram, you're going to see there's plenty of activity at Mount St. Helens. We showed you Trade Dollar Lake a few minutes ago. Let's go look at the vault. The vault. This is a seismograph located on the south side of Mount St. Helens. Again, look at the amount of activity here. This is a USGS seismogram. Okay? Look at this activity last night. This is the same activity we're showing you on the VLF seismogram, isn't it? Look at that. We're showing you plenty of magma coming into this magma chamber for hours. Hours. You can see tremors all over here. Literally. Then over here on the right-hand side here, okay, we see what appears to be a 1.7, 1.8 tremor here on the right. Okay? This would be after about, or just before 8 a.m. this morning. About 7:59 a.m. this morning. Since we know that this seismograph has been turned way down, this may have been a 3.0 earthquake early this morning. And you can see plenty of earthquakes and tremors all over this seismogram. Literally. Tons of tremors, tons of earthquakes. Okay? It's unimaginable that they can't be honest with us and let the seismographs tell us a story without messing with them. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're messing with the information. One day, they're going to get their fingers caught in the ice cream machine, and they're going to wish that they had left the machine just going. They're going to have, as Ellie Mae would say, or Jed Clampett would say, they're going to have a lot of splaining to do. Or Ricky Ricardo, they're going to have a lot of splaining to do. Incredible, guys. Incredible. It's incredible what we see. Okay? It's incredible. Okay, I'm just removing somebody completely from this chat and from the channel because they can't. They've got to be racist. I won't tolerate racism on this channel. Just won't do it. Okay? You're racist on this channel, you're gone. Okay? No way am I going to tolerate racism of any kind or bullying. Some of it is hate speech. Well, all of it's hate speech, period. Okay? I don't tolerate it. Not now, not ever. Dawn, thanks for catching that. Okay? Good job. Good catch. Anyway, guys, that is Mount St. Helens. It's crazy. It literally is. All these volcanoes are going, guys. Look here at Mount Hood. Look at this. Up at the top of this seismogram here, they turned the machine nearly off. All you see is thin lines here and occasional blip on the seismogram. Okay, this is not accurate reporting. This is nearly 100% turned down. Then all of a sudden they turn it up down here. All of a sudden they turn it up down here. This is USGS seismogram. USGS says they get their information from the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Really? This doesn't show over on PNSN. It just doesn't. But this one does. This is just, the activity starts just after 7 a.m. this morning. Okay, so they turn it up. You can see the activity trying to burst through the turn down here after 7 o'clock this morning. Well, they finally turn it up. Guess what? We have a lot of seismic activity here. A lot of magma coming into this magma chamber of Mount Hood. Okay, this is Palmer Lift. This is Palmer Lift. You're seeing some tremors here as well. Okay, the magma causing tremors. How is that possible? The magma inside the volcano is coming in under pressure in the magma chamber. It's fracturing rock inside the magma chamber as it enters into the volcano. That is causing earthquakes and tremors, and that is what you see on the seismogram. It's not, I repeat, this is not microquake activity. This is earthquake activity. Okay? They want to report microquakes, they can go suck a doorknob. Sorry. They can go kiss doorknobs for a living. You might as well. This, folks, is seismic activity. A lot of seismic activity. Then, after this activity, guess what? Seismic activity just doesn't go away like they show it here. They turn the seismograph down again after 3:30 this afternoon. 15:30 over on the left-hand side here. Even 1500, they turned it down. You can still see seismic energy trying to come through the turn down here at the bottom of the seismogram. Okay? You're still seeing some magma coming into the magma chamber. That's because they turned it down. Okay? Why did they turn it down? Because they don't want anybody to know. Just like they almost turned it off this morning. This is Mount Hood, guys. This is an active cotton-picking volcano. Nearly a year and a half ago, they said on a Sunday that this volcano looked like it was about to erupt. They issued an eruption advisory, a yellow advisory here on the south end of Mount Hood. Why? Because there were 125 earthquakes that hit the southern side of Mount Hood at Timberline government camp. It happened within a 24-hour period. They thought for sure it was going to erupt. It didn't. The seismic activity subsided, and they went back to normal status at Mount Hood. Okay? Mount Hood is eventually going to erupt. But they're trying to tell us at the top of this that nothing's going on. They're lying to us. Absolutely lying to us. It's unheard of. It really is unheard of. Okay? I can't, for the life of me, understand why they would do that. Let's go south of there. Okay? This is Sisters Volcano. You can see a lot of activity this afternoon and turning into early evening. Look what happened up here. Again, they've turned this seismograph almost off here at Sisters. It's interesting that Sisters actually is 3 separate volcanoes. They have one seismograph monitoring 3 separate volcanoes here. Early this morning, they decided to turn it up a little bit. Okay? Just after about 9:30 this morning, they turned it up a little bit. Then after noon, after about 2:30 p.m. this afternoon, they turned it up some more. All of a sudden, instead of seeing just small little blips, all of a sudden we see magma coming into the magma chamber. We don't have any magma churn signal here to show us the exact size of what this seismogram is showing us, but I will tell you, it's probably about 20% of real world. About 20% of real world. Why do I say that? Look over here on the right hand side here. See those red lines here? That is caused by the computer. The computer put a red line there, or two red lines, to show the activity. This activity was supposed to show a lot. Okay, the red lines are there to alert the seismologist that something happened. It wasn't just a minor tremor. It wasn't a minor tremor at all. This was a significant earthquake today at Sisters Volcano. But again, we'll never know just exactly what's going on because they've hidden the information. They've hidden the information. I call bullcrap on it. Okay? I call bullcrap. As they have done on other occasions. Okay? I could have shown you a lot more activity here. It was getting late. I wanted to make sure that we gave you information here. Okay? Since they've been hiding information at Mount Shasta and Mount Lassen, I've basically turned it off. Okay? I'm not showing you anything at Lassen and Shasta because they turned them off. They don't want to be honest about what is going on there. So I glossed over it today, probably today only. I want to go over now and show you activity at another volcano. This is over in the east central part of California. This is Long Valley Volcano. This is east of Mammoth Volcano. This is east of Mammoth here. Okay? This is seismograph MDR. MDR. Look at this. Okay? Long Volcano is a very large supervolcano. It's smaller than Yellowstone. It's 23 miles in diameter, just the Long Valley volcano. Now there is a school of thought that Mammoth and Long Valley are in the same caldera. If that's the case, then we're looking at a magma or a caldera the size of 75 miles in diameter. 75 miles in diameter. That's huge. That really is huge. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back up here. I'm showing you Long Valley. You see all the earthquake activity happening here, and this is just part of it. This literally is just part of it. I had pulled information about Mammoth too as well, and they somehow kept me from putting it in my database of my computer, but I'm going back through here to pull information to see if I can get it here. Okay? But just like these other volcanoes, they're hiding information. They're just hiding it. That's what they do best. They hide information. Mammoth Mountain has about 10 or 12 seismographs. And guess what? Most of them are showing nothing, just white sheets of paper. Literally. White sheets of paper, which is trash. It's just trash. How can they use that and have these machines monitoring and they don't show any information? I'm counting 1, 2. I'll show you this one. This is just showing a minor piece of information here. I'm going to put this, let's see. Okay, I just saved the seismogram from Mammoth. Okay, but they have literally, I'm going to count them real quick, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 seismographs that they could show us, but they're not. 2 of them have false data on them. The rest of them are white, literally white. Okay, it's incredible what they're not showing. Long Valley has 10 seismographs that monitor that volcano too, a supervolcano. And most of them are dead. Most of them are white, nothing showing. It's trash. It's literally trash. But you're seeing a lot of activity here at Long Valley. A lot. A lot. Okay? Let me show you this. I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. Now it's showing you St. Helens here. It shouldn't be showing you Helens. It should be showing you Long Valley. That's Long Valley right here. Okay? Look at all this activity this afternoon. Look at all that. Or this, I shouldn't say this afternoon. This morning. Early this morning. The top of this is yesterday. Look at the earthquakes here at Long Valley yesterday. We have at least 2 3.0 earthquakes here at Long Valley. Okay? Top left of center up here at the right. 3.0 earthquakes yesterday at least, possibly 3.5. But look at all the rest of this magma here at Long Valley. And then, today, look at these earthquakes here. Look at these earthquakes. 2 separate, distinct earthquakes here. Okay? 2 separate, distinct earthquakes. One of these happened at 8:20. I want to say 8. Oh, what is it? It's 8:46 a.m. this morning. That red line there. And then just below it, that blue line here, dark blue line. This is after 10, I want to say 11 a.m. this morning. Probably a 2.5, 3.0 earthquake. Both of them. Look at all that magma here. Look at all that magma. What do you say about that? That's insane. This is Long Valley Volcano. Long Valley Volcano, a supervolcano just east of Mammoth. Let's show you Mammoth now. Okay? Good old Mammoth here. Look at this, guys. This is Mammoth Mountain here. Up at the top, you can see a lot of activity here. Okay? This is yesterday afternoon, just after 3 p.m. 1500 hours on the left-hand side is 3 p.m. We see a lot of magma coming into the magma chamber here, don't we? Oh yeah, and then it dissipates. Then they turned it down where there's very little magma coming into the magma chamber. They turn it down. Okay? Then just after, or excuse me, just before 11:30 last night, we had an episode where there is magma pulse signal here. It starts off very small. It shows activity starting in the form of magma coming into the magma chamber. Then Over here on the left-hand side, this happens to be 2300 hours. So this happened just before 11 p.m. last night. Okay? About 10:59 p.m. last night. Then it comes over here to 11 p.m. last night, and it continues for almost 2 full minutes. And we have some tremors there as well. Those vertical lines going through that magma there, those are tremors. Tremors. Then down here after 3 a.m. this morning, we have some earthquakes. Now this is Mammoth Volcano. These are at least 3.2 to 3.5 magnitude earthquakes on these red lines. Okay? There's blue beneath it. Those are earthquakes. The red lines are just there to catch the attention of seismologists. Crazy, huh? Look at all that activity. NanoGaf is in our chat again. NanoGaf, thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. That's awesome that she's here. That's really cool. Look at that. Look at all that activity. These are earthquakes. Earthquakes at a volcano. Earthquakes at a volcano. Okay? We haven't shown Mammoth for a while. There was a lot of activity though. Okay? I wanted to make sure we showed it tonight. There's a ton of activity at Mammoth and Long Valley. Long Valley being a supervolcano. Mammoth just being west of there. There's a lot of snow up there. The people skiing there may have felt this. Probably did. Over around Mammoth Village. Incredible, guys. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions here? I'll take any questions that you might have. Linda Covington is asking how many people live along this area. If you're asking about East Central California, probably about 2 or 3 million at least. About 2 or 3 million. Linda Covington is asking any videos of steam at Mount Hood or sisters. No, we don't have any pictures of either Hood or sisters steaming right now. I have pictures of them steaming in the past, yes. I do have those from the past. Yeah, Richard Smith is talking about a 50 cal nug with sweet seeds in it. Oh yeah, those will make minor earthquakes. Yeah, if you can hold on to them. 50 cals are big nugs. Those are big nugs. Richard Smith says they test for sulfate levels around volcanoes. Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do. They're monitoring that like all get out right now. Because all the volcanoes are recharging. Every one of them. You see these earthquakes, you see the steam, they know what's going on. That's why they don't want to show us what's going on at Lassen or Mount Shasta. Those volcanoes are going crazy. Crazy. Hurricane Heather says, how are you doing, sir? I'm okay. I'm okay. And Owl says, any belief that we're going to be going through a huge debris field in space? It's possible. That's possible. Okay? There's a lot of, we're going through actually a debris field from a comet. I believe we're going through a debris field of a comet. And it's just tiny stuff going through, pieces of sand that are going to be erupting in the atmosphere as they hit our atmosphere. You may, in the next couple days, you're probably going to see a lot of meteorite sightings way high, okay, as these tiny pieces burn up in the atmosphere. Okay, you might see up to 5 an hour, I think. Okay. Michael McKinney's asking, are these volcanoes going to blow like Mount St. Helens? Possibly. I don't think they're going to blow through the side. Mount Rainier might, because Mount Rainier has been bulging for quite some time, but I think these other volcanoes are going to erupt at the summit. Mount St. Helens may blow out again from the side. Okay, we don't know. We don't know. Right now, one of the cones at the very summit of Mount St. Helens is steaming rapidly. A ton of steam coming from the volcano. JB Maps says so many folks know of the impending doom that will occur sooner than later, yet they stay. I just cannot understand why many say it is lack of funds. The things is what wouldn't you do to live? Well, I can see that too, to a point. If somebody doesn't have funds to leave, many people don't. The banks are going to have a run on their money. People already don't have much money. But when these small banks close, a lot of people, a lot of farmers, people that don't have much money, that have spent their last dime trying to plant crops, guess what? They're going to be plumb out of luck. Plumb out of luck. A lot of people are broke. GB Maps says, I would rather be broke and have a safe family than stay and have them all die. I agree. I totally agree. But I know for a fact some people just don't have money. They just don't. One of the reasons I left Salt Lake City is because I saw what was going on. Okay? Salt Lake City is about to get hit with a major earthquake. Okay? A major earthquake. There's a lot of reasons I left Salt Lake. But guess what? That's a big one. Okay? That was a big one. That was a big one. Huge. Surgery still lives up in northern Utah near the Idaho-Utah border. His house is creaking. The house that he is living in is creaking. We see minor earthquakes and tremors hitting that area crazily. Okay? That place is going to go. Now, there are 7 segments to the Wasatch Fault in Utah. 7 segments. Each segment could go by itself, but the entire Wasatch Fault could go altogether. And that's what I think is going to happen. Okay? The whole fault. That's going to be huge. Huge. Sandy, as our friend Don Patoka, he lives in Sandy, Utah. There's a reason they call it Sandy. Because about 75% of Sandy City is nothing more than sandy and loamy soil. What happens when that place rocks and rolls? The water table is going to rise through that loamy, sandy material. The earth is going to shake. Everything sitting in that loamy, sandy soil is going to sink. Homes, buildings, telephone poles, electrical poles, cars, people, it's going to sink into that soil. Some things are going to tip over and fall. Folks, that's what's going to happen. And it's not saying that that won't happen here. We live here in North Carolina on a bedrock. It's the foothills of the Eastern Continental Divide. That's where I live. The foothills of the Eastern Continental Divide. What's going on? The Atlantic plate is shoving the North American plate south-southwest. Yes, we're getting earthquakes here, all over the East Coast. But it's different seismically from here to Utah or California. I was on the phone earlier with Rob. We were talking about that huge fault system in California. We talked about that huge fault system running from the Gulf of California all the way up to Pyramid Lake in Northern California. It's going to open up. That area around Walker Lane Fault, and yes, there's some minor earthquakes around Walker Lane Fault today. Guess what? It's going to be open to an inland waterway, like a river, or another gulf attached to the Gulf of California. That area is going to open up. It's going to be covered in water, running from the Gulf of California all the way up to Pyramid Lake. It's going to happen. Is it going to happen within my lifetime? I don't know. But it's eventually going to happen. The San Andreas Fault is going to go. I know that. It could go prior to the Cascadia megathrust happening. Yes, it could. But it definitely will be triggered by the Cascadia megathrust earthquake. And look out to California. Look out to the Pacific Northwest. That area is going to be destroyed. Literally going to be destroyed. Won't even be recognizable. Any questions? Hurricane Heather says, worth the triple junction between Shasta and Lassen. Oh yeah, fun times. Fun times. One or both of those earthquakes is going to erupt. Rob said, just like the Bay Area in San Francisco, yes, it's going to get hit. And by the way, let me show you something about the Bay Area. Okay? I want to show you something. I probably should have shown you this earlier today. Okay? Let's go down here to the Bay Area. Okay? There were some earthquakes that happened here. Okay? This one here. This one happened in Crockett, California. Crockett, California. Okay? It happened just west of the San Francisco Bay Area. This is a city. It happened in the city of Crockett. Happened in the city of Crockett. This was a 2.1 magnitude earthquake. Now, folks, this happened on the Hayward Fault. That 2.1 was on the Hayward Fault. Probably nobody felt it. Probably nobody felt it. But there's one south of there. I want to talk to you about this one here. This one is a 3.0 south of San Jose. A 3.0 over at Seven Trees, California. We have seen a lot of earthquakes in this area. A lot of earthquakes in the recent days, the last week or two. This one is a 3.0. Folks, this is just a small earthquake, but it's on the Calaveras Fault. Together with the convergence of the Hayward Fault in this area, this makes this a very dangerous earthquake. It's only a 3.0, but we've had several 3s and even some 4s in this area here. Look out, California. The closeness of the Hayward and the Calaveras says a lot. This area could really be bad if this area came to pieces. This is probably one of the worst areas to go for an earthquake. Okay, that was a 3.0. South and west of there is Morgan Hill, a 1.6 tremor. This one is just east of the Hayward Fault. Just east of the Hayward. and south and west of the Calaveras Fault there. Okay? A lot happened. Now this happened just after we came on the air. This is a 1.2. A 1.2 earthquake just off the coast of San Francisco. Okay? This is south of the mouth of the San Francisco Bay. Okay? They say this is 4 kilometers, 2 miles southwest of the San Francisco Zoo. This area gets hit a lot as well. This is the first time in months that we've seen an earthquake, or tremor in this case, here near the San Francisco Zoo. But this is typical seismic activity here. Okay? We've seen upwards of a 2.5 here in this same area before. Okay? This is really nothing new. But I wanted to point this out to you. Mary Greeley talked about that 3.0 that happened over here along the Calaveras Fault today. She talked about that. That area is dangerous, guys. That is very dangerous. South of there on the San Andreas Fault, this is Tres Pinos. This is also a very dangerous area. This is a 1.9 tremor, 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. Okay? This gets hit a lot too. A couple years ago, Tres Pinos got hit with a 5.0 magnitude earthquake. Okay? It's getting hit again. Probably an aftershock of that quake. Further south, this is the Pinnacles. This is the Pinnacles. It's along the San Andreas Fault, but it's also an oil and gas area as well. Further south, this is San Ordo, a 1.5 magnitude tremor. South of there is Parkfield. This is a 2.3 earthquake, minor earthquake at the capital of earthquakes in California. Earthquake capital, Parkfield, California. 2.3 earthquake there. You think things are happening? Oh yeah, they are. It's a matter of time, guys. The rate of earthquakes is increasing, and the size of these earthquakes are increasing. Parkfield was just getting tremors months ago. Now they are full-blown minor earthquakes. Yes, folks, seismic energy is increasing here in Northern California. You can take that to the bank as well. No pun intended. Any other earthquakes here, or any other questions about earthquakes or whatever here? Okay? Kimberly Hopkins says, great up in the East Bay area, been through a couple of earthquakes. Oh yeah, so have I. Not in San Francisco. I went through a bunch of earthquakes in San Diego and over in Northridge years ago. Rob used to live in the LA area. He knows all about it. Hurricane Heather says, my pump is watching too. That's great. That's awesome. Juby Joe says, does it cost dollars for CC? I'm not sure what you're talking about when you talk about CC. Hurricane Heather says, yes. Okay. Okay. Maybe my brain is fried. I don't know. All right, guys, I want to share something with you here before we take off, okay? This comes from the Acts in the New Testament. This is Acts chapter 16, verses 14 and 15, okay? And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, which worshipped God, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened, that she attended unto things that were spoken of by Paul. Verse 15. And when she was baptized, and her household, she besought us, saying, if ye have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house and abide there. And she constrained us. Folks, I would ask all of you, if you all know the Lord, if you all have the Spirit of God with you and have accepted Christ into your lives, come together. Share things. Share a meal. Share snacks. Invite people into your home so you can prepare for what is happening, for what is going to happen. Don't do it by yourselves. Don't do it by yourselves. Hurricane Heather says closed captions. I've tried closed captions on the other channel. I will look into that again here. Okay? I'll definitely do that. Any other questions? Juby Joe says he couldn't type sell. That's okay. I know about that. I know all about that. That's cool. Any other questions? Love each other, guys. That's all the Lord wanted us to do, is love each other. Don Patoka just put up our UPS address. We appreciate that. Again, P.O. Box 422, Valdese, Valdese, North Carolina. The zip code is 28690. May God be with you this day and always, guys. We love you. I know the Lord loves each and every one of you. I know that. Please give us a thumbs up on your way out as well. Tell people about this channel. Okay? Subscribe to this channel, like I said in the beginning of this program tonight. Subscribe and be a part of the EMA family. We love you. We need you. We really do. May God be with you. May God bless you this day and always. May God be with you, literally, till we meet again. That's my prayer for everybody. May God be with you this day and always. Good night, everybody. Have a great one. We will see you tomorrow night. If anything else happens between now and tomorrow night, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, good night, everybody. Be safe.